Hey, did I talk about the season finale of House of the Dragon, season one? Can't remember if I did. It was overall, it is a good show. It is well acted, well written. I'm not as invested in it, I think, as I was by the season one of Game of Thrones, in that it's a little bit monotone. It's kind of got grim, 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 and definitely the shifting of the cast, recasting as characters have aged up, has hurt the show as much as it's not the it's for TV, for movies, for visual stuff like that. It's the actor who brings a character alive, and it's sort of like you have to restart everything when you have when you have another when you have another actor step into a role. It kind of restarts everything again. And for the finale, spoilers for the finale, with the young prince getting killed, it was like, oh, he got killed. But how long have we known him in this iteration? I mean, not that long. And it was like, oh, okay. So it didn't hit that long, even though it was really well done. Wow, raunch on the thing. And we definitely had this thing of the different interpretations you can get of stuff. It was also done well. But yeah, yeah. So that was good. It was sort of like, it wasn't so much like, especially that final shot where the prince, now Queen Rhaenyra, I think is her name, turns around to the camera and shows her grief and anger and that this means war kind of face that she was giving at the end. That was cool. That was great. Like, kind of a wordless thing is like, oh, that's an actor acting. That was like, oh, that is a good scene. Though there's a part of me that goes like, oh, okay, we finally got to that. It's like, it's been slow build up, and it feels like maybe it was slightly too slow of a build up for me. Like, I always think of Hilary Mantel and the scene in her Cromwell books. I think it's Bring Up the Bodies, where Henry VIII has an accident, and for the space of maybe about 5 minutes, he's like medically dead, and how fast and quick and sudden everybody is suddenly lunging into position, and Cromwell's thinking, I need to flee the country, and it's all going super quick. In this, Rhaenyra and Daemon, they're away from the court, so everything is spaced out, and we don't have that kind of wah. It's like, okay, it's going to happen, but everyone's distances away, and they only learn what whiles later. Really cool that Daemon immediately assumes that they've killed Viserys, the king, which it's like, dude, the guy has been like on death's door for the last 3 or 4 episodes. We've been expecting him to drop dead. You know, why would you assume, other than, of course, that's what you would put forward. Come on, that's what you would assume, and it also might be something that, like, oh, that's something that you would, you can see the propaganda machines going in. It's like, if this side wins, they'll say that Viserys was killed most foully by this faction, whereas if the other side wins, they'll say, nope, he died a natural death, and his last words were, make Aemon the king, which both both could be plausible. Both have some elements in them that are true, and some things that are like, we're projecting what we want in there, like that Aemon is going to succeed is false, though he did die a natural death. Whereas with, yeah, so it's all that sort of stuff is cool. The show has kind of struggled with the recasting. I think maybe going forward, we've now gotten into a solid footing where we're going to stick with the same actors. I guess we'll see if we do or not. The childbirth scene was the stillborn miscarriage was really uncomfortable. Definitely that edge of things of like, Are you kind of going, ooh, let's exploit this, or ooh, let's show the pain of childbirth or of miscarriage, and that it's like I had to look away. It's one of these things I thought immediately, boy, anybody who's ever had a miscarriage or anybody who is pregnant probably wouldn't want to watch this, which is, I don't know if that's a good sign um, for it's exploitative and they're being assholes to the very audience of the people who would be in that situation, or it's like, oh, you're really hitting home about how horrible this would be, and that would just really stir up things in people. It's like it felt triggering to me, and I'm a dude who is never going to be pregnant and is never going to have a wife who would have to go through this. So, you know, it could just be me in there on that. What else? Damon chokes Rhaenyra, which I think is a good reminder of exactly what kind of a rage monster Damon is, because she reveals that Viserys shared with her a secret that he never shared with him, this whole Song of Ice and Fire thing, and you know how much that hurt him. So what's his reaction to that? Instant roar, choke Rhaenyra, which I think maybe this thing. Now, this is a show where it's a lot of it is basically, will these women be able to carve out some kind of power for themselves in this super patriarchal system? And I think my frustration with the second half of the show is that the female characters, as when they were young, had kind of like this bright thing, especially Rhaenyra, not so much Allison, not so much. Her character is probably the most hard done by, in that like she's a good person and now she's kind of getting sucked into bad shit and having really evil motherfuckers do stuff in her name that's a benefit to her, and she's kind of accepting it. She's kind of a weak character. The whole foot fetish scene earlier in the season is just like, this is like, you're really going to rub her nose into exactly how much of a weak kind of put upon character she is, which is just not, I mean, it's a character decision, but it's like, you don't like this society doesn't like women, but it's like, does the show like women? I'm hoping that Rhaenyra will become a little bit more of the leader, that she's got challenges, genuine challenges of like how you've got a room full of men, Daemon number one, who aren't going to listen to you because you're the little wifey. When you're, no, I'm not the little wifey, I'm the fucking queen. So, yeah, it's an interesting show. It'll be interesting to see what decisions they make, whether they can carry me along with the show. I don't need it to be girl power or anything like that, but I want the female characters to be interesting and do interesting things because of the focus of the story. The focus of the story. So they have to be interesting. They have to do cool. They have to do dynamic things. They have to make choices. And we've had a lot of kind of slow buildup. I hope now that we've had the explosion, that they're going to make choices, and that's going to make for compelling TV, because they'll be active characters, whether they do shitty stuff or not. There is definitely the thing in this show where, you know, there isn't like Game of Thrones where they're the Starks. The Starks were righteous. They were good people trying to do good things. You know, and you sided with them. And this is not a show where particularly you side with anyone. I think they're all fairly reprehensible things, are all doing things for their own selfish thing. They'll murder anyone for their family. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Very brief and incomplete thoughts on season 1 finale of House of Dragons. Bye for now.